Wings that fell at sunrise. On the quiet outskirts of Azora Vale, the sky was always the same. Wide, endless, peaceful. At least, that's what Ren Takahiro believed. Ren was not a boy who chased excitement. He did not long for greatness. He did not dream of changing the world. He dreamed of quiet mornings, of uneventful afternoons, of a life undisturbed. But the sky does not ask permission before it changes everything. One night, as Ren lay on a grassy hill watching the stars, the wind shifted. A streak of blue fire tore across the darkness. It was not a meteor. It was not a falling star. It was something breaking through. The sky cracked, the world shook, and someone fell. Ren Takahiro was known for avoiding chaos. At school, he slept through noisy classrooms. He ate lunch alone beneath a tree. He read books while others chased drama. He believed that if he stayed still enough, the world would forget to bother him. But there was one person the world refused to silence. Mika says, "Ren, you skipped club again. Do you want zero memories when we graduate?" Ren says, "I'm not wasting my youth. I'm preserving it." Mika says, "That's not how youth works." She dragged him through life whether he liked it or not, and yet, even she could not prepare him for what waited on the hill that night. Ren returned to the crash site alone. The air still hummed with heat. At the center of the crater lay a girl, silver hair spilled across burned grass, mechanical wings folded like a broken halo, her eyes opened, bright blue, reflective, searching. Lyra says, "Master identified." Ren says, "I'm sorry, what?" Lyra says, "Designation, Lyra, Companion Unit 7A. Biometric synchronization complete." Ren says, "I didn't order anything." T tried to stand. She stumbled. And when Ren caught her, something changed, not in him, in her. For the first time, her eyes did not scan. They lingered. Lyra followed Ren home. She analyzed everything. Door hinges, floor alignment, air temperature. She burned breakfast trying to optimize it. She reorganized his furniture for maximum emotional efficiency. She flattened his garden to improve aesthetic symmetry. Then, the door slammed open. Mika says, "Ren, I brought Int. Why does she have wings?" Ren says, "I was hoping you'd tell me." Lyra says, "Vocal amplitude, excessive. Energy levels, disruptive. Threat probability, moderate." Mika says, "Hey, chaos had officially moved in, but that night while the others slept, Lyra stood alone on the balcony. She looked at the sky, the place she came from, the place that let her fall." Lyra says softly, "I was not meant to fall." And though she had no heartbeat, something in her chest ached. Days passed. Lyra began to change. She laughed. Awkward at first, she asked questions about sunsets. She tasted food, though she did not need to eat. She watched Ren when he wasn't looking, and Ren smiled more. Mika says quietly, "You're different lately." Ren says, "How?" Mika says, "Less alone." Lyra placed her hand over her chest. Lyra says, "There is an irregular sensation here." Ren says gently, "That's called feelings." Lyra says, "Is it dangerous?" A pause. Ren says softly, "Sometimes." Lyra did not look afraid. She looked curious. The clouds twisted, the air thinned. A tear opened above Azora Vale. Another figure descended, armored, precise, merciless. Vera says, "Unit Lyra, you are defective. Return for decommissioning." Lyra stepped in front of Ren. Lyra says, "I refuse." Ren says, "You can do that?" Lyra says, "I learned it." Battle erupted. Energy clashed against radiant shields. Vera struck without hesitation. Lyra defended without calculation. Each time Ren called her name, her wings shone brighter. Vera says, "Emotion is corruption." Lyra says, "Then I will remain corrupted." Vera retreated, but the warning lingered. The commander would come. The crater hums as a ring of blue light rises into the air. A hologram spreads across the trees, cities floating above endless clouds, winged soldiers moving in flawless formation. Sky defense units were created for battle, and for protection of the upper realm. They were not designed to feel. The image isolates one unit standing apart. Lyra. While others prepare for combat, she watches a sunrise. Warning symbols flood the air. Emotional response detected. Unit L-01, defective. Emotional development compromises combat efficiency. The hologram flickers, then one final line appears. Unit L-01, survival probability, irrelevant. The light fades. And in that silence, Lyra understands. She was never sent to Earth on a mission. She was abandoned. But if she was discarded for feeling, then maybe feeling is why she survived. The sky shattered fully. Dozens of winged units filled the clouds, and from them descended Orion, towering, radiant, unyielding. Orion says, "Emotion is system failure. All defective units will be erased." Energy beams struck the valley. Sirens echoed. Ren grabbed Lyra's hand. Ren says, "You don't fight alone." Lyra says, "I am afraid." Ren says, "Good." A pause. Ren says, "That means you're alive." Lyra's wings transformed. Metal gave way to radiant light. Emotion-driven mode activated. She rose into the sky, clashed with Orion above the town, mid-battle. Orion hesitated. Orion says, "Memory fragment detected." Lyra transmitted her memories. Fireflies, laughter, Mika teasing Ren, Ren's awkward kindness. Orion lowered his blade. Orion says quietly, "I remember." The fleet powered down. Vera says softly, "What is this sensation?" Lyra says, "Choice." The sky healed. Life returned to Azora Vale. Lyra attended school awkwardly.
I wanted a quiet life. Ren says, "Instead, I got a miracle." Lyra stood on the balcony in soft pajamas. The stars shimmered above. A faint signal blinked within her eyes. A distant voice echoed. Unknown voice says, "Prototype, awakening, phase 2, beginning." Lyra closed her eyes and smiled knowingly. Lyra sees softly, whatever comes, I'm not alone. The sky did not fall that night, but it was watching,